Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to, well, really getting to grips with complex ideas and becoming well-informed. Today, this is Wisdom Unveiled, Episode 23, Attar of Nishapur and the Domain of Self. We're taking a deep dive into the really profound insights of the 12th century Persian poet and mystic Attar of Nishapur. Now, our source material for this deep dive, it comes from some fascinating philosophical conversations. These are with Iranian philosophers Dr. Ebrahim Dinani and Dr. Esmail Mansouri Larijani, drawn from their Marifat audio files. And just a quick note before we jump in, we've worked really hard to translate and convey the essence of these very nuanced discussions. We appreciate your understanding. Some of the finer, profound details are perhaps best appreciated in their original context. We've done our best.
Absolutely. And Attar's wisdom, it really does transcend centuries. It offers these timeless reflections on human nature, on responsibility that resonates so deeply even today.
Okay, so let's explore this. We're opening with a really captivating anecdote from his renowned work, Mantiq al-Tayr, which many know as Conference of the Birds. It kicks off with what seems like a simple complaint, but it quickly unravels into this layered exploration of human accountability. And the true nature of temptation.
Yes. Attar paints such a vivid scene. You have this person caught up in sin and deceit who goes to a wise ascetic, a shalneshan, to, voice their grievances. And their complaint is aimed squarely at Iblis, or Satan. It's full of anguish. You are my pain. What cure is there? I am trapped by you. What is there to do? I cry out from your hand. I cry out. What is the use of hiding your secret any longer? Just pure despair and blame.
Right. And this is where Attar, he completely flips the script on conventional wisdom, doesn't he? The ascetic listens patiently and then just drops this bombshell. Iblis himself had just been there, literally complaining about the very same person.
Exactly. Iblis claimed, "The world is entirely my domain." He says, "You tell him to embark on his path to keep his hands off my world. I will go hard on his religion. He has severely grabbed hold of my world. Whoever leaves my territory completely, I have nothing to do with him, and peace be upon him."
Wow. So this unexpected twist, the accuser suddenly becoming the accused, it really forces us to re-examine our whole understanding of temptation. What is Attar actually telling us about Iblis's true domain here?
Well, what's truly insightful is how Attar defines this territory, or Aqta, as Iblis calls it. It's not, a geographical location, not a place on a map. This domain is described metaphorically. It's any sensory, imaginary, or illusory world that operates without the guidance of pure intellect.
Yeah.
These are essentially what Attar implies are Khalid territories, places where Iblis, who embodies deviation, misguidance, can ensnare those who wander in without that guiding light of reason.
So it's not about a physical place at all, but a state of mind, a kind of territory of the intellect, if you will. It sounds like the moment we engage with the world, maybe through our senses or imagination, but without our intellect firmly in control, we're basically stepping onto Iblis's turf.
Precisely.
That really clarifies why the person in the story gets blamed for entering the domain, not just for, being tempted while standing outside it.
Exactly. And this concept, it directly challenges that very common human tendency, doesn't it? To find an external scapegoat when things go wrong. We so often project blame outwards, which unfortunately prevents that crucial self-reflection, that genuine personal accountability. Attar's perspective here, it lines up perfectly with Quranic verses where, on Judgment Day, Satan actually tells his followers, look, don't blame me. Blame yourselves for choosing to follow me.
Right. He didn't force anyone.
He doesn't force. He merely whispers within the thoughts. The phrase is, yuswasu fi sudur annas. So the real battleground, the true fight, is always internal. It's within our own minds, our intentions.
That's a really crucial distinction. The whisper isn't a command. It's more like an invitation, isn't it? An invitation down a certain path. And Attar uses another incredible anecdote, I think, to show just how expansive this internal domain can be. The story of Prophet Jesus and the brick.
Ah, yes, that one's powerful.
Jesus, who was known for, profound simplicity, was just resting his head on a simple brick, a basic necessity almost. Yet, even that small, seemingly innocent act of attachment, it leads Iblis to appear and claim that brick as his territory.
It's a stunning detail, isn't it? It means that any attachment to the world, no matter how small it seems, how insignificant, it can become part of Satan's domain if it's not consciously, thoroughly governed by intellect.
Wow.
It really underscores the immense scope of this cursed territory. All those sensory realms, imaginary ones, illusory ones, when they're devoid of pure intellect, they essentially become Iblis's playground. The entire world, you could say, stripped of that intellectual guidance, falls under his potential sway.
That completely reframes the scope of temptation. It shifts it away from just specific sins towards a more fundamental way of engaging with reality itself.
Uh-huh.
And it also highlights our dual nature as humans so beautifully, doesn't it? We have this angelic potential, but also these inclinations that can lean towards the animalistic or even, as Attar suggests, the satanic.
Yes.
It's fascinating how our potential is described as having infinite limits, this boundless capacity for immense good, like spiritual growth and perfection, but also potentially for immense evil, maybe even surpassing Satan in malice, as some interpretations suggest.
Indeed. Attar posits that unlike other creatures whose ambition is naturally sort of capped by their physical power, human power is uniquely proportionate to our ambition, our will, our himmat. And that ambition, if it's truly pure and constructive, it stems directly from pure intellect, from Aql.
Okay.
So this deep understanding means that someone like the Shalineshan, the ascetic, would naturally find the human sinner at fault. Why? For entering Iblis's domain in the first place, not Iblis for simply doing what he does, which is tempting.
So the responsibility lies in the entry.
Precisely, which profoundly emphasizes how critical it is to cultivate this pure intellect, Aql-e Khales, and what's called high ambition or high resolve, himmat-e boland. These are our primary safeguards.
It's like Attar is telling us that our internal compass, our intellect, that's our greatest protection. And you mentioned the word aql, intellect. Doesn't that have a deeper root meaning? Something about tying.
Yes, exactly. That's a fantastic connection. The root of aql is related to aql, which literally means to tie or to rein in, like tying a camel's leg.
Okay.
It powerfully symbolizes intellect's essential role, controlling our desires, actively preventing us from straying into those cursed territories of thoughtlessness or unchecked impulse. It reminds me very strongly of the Prophet Muhammad saying to the Bedouin who asked about trusting God with his camel, he said, "Tie your camel, then trust in God. Aql al-Tayr thumma tawakkul." Yes, the trust, the spiritual reliance, it comes after you've taken the practical, the intellectual step of reining things in, of managing your immediate impulses and responsibilities.
That makes perfect sense.
It really shows that intellect isn't just passive thinking. It's about disciplined action, about control.
That's a great real-world parallel.
Yeah.
So it's not just about knowing what's right in theory, but actually acting on that knowledge by first taking responsibility, by tying the camel. And Attar also brings up another huge obstacle to this, doesn't he? What he calls the illusion of knowledge.
Yeah.
It's not simple ignorance that holds us back the most, he suggests, but this state of being like the cup that thinks it's already full. How does that play out? How does that stop us?
Oh, it's a profound block. If you genuinely believe you already know something completely, your mind just closes down, doesn't it? It's closed to new information, new perspectives, maybe a deeper understanding.
Right, you stop listening.
You stop listening. It's a kind of intellectual arrogance, really, that stifles curiosity and humility. And both of those are absolutely crucial for the continuous purification of our intellect. It means you stop asking questions, you stop observing carefully, you stop reflecting. You just get stuck in this loop of what you think you know instead of engaging with what you truly need to learn and, more importantly, embody.
So it boils down to maintaining that openness to learning, always, recognizing the limits of our current understanding.
Absolutely.
And that leads us straight into Attar's really powerful maxim.
Yeah.
Humans must think correctly and then live as one thinks. It's about grounding our actions in that purified, well-reasoned intellect rather than the other way around, living first based on impulse or habit and then trying to justify or rationalize our actions after the fact, which, as he implies, is often too late.
It often is too late. If we don't actively strive to live based on a purified intellect meaning, a mind that's constantly self-aware, disciplined, checking itself, open to truth, we inevitably risk stumbling into those territories where Iblis claims dominion. And the really profound implication here is that true freedom from temptation, it doesn't come from constantly battling Iblis externally, like in some kind of cosmic war. It comes from consciously choosing not to enter his domain in the first place, through inner discipline.
By staying within the bounds of intellect.
Exactly. And remember Iblis's powerful statement from the anecdote, "Whoever leaves my territory completely, I have nothing to do with him, and peace be upon him." That echoes almost directly the Quranic verse. "Indeed, over my true servants, there's no authority for you, Satan. Inna ibadi laysa laka alayhim sultan."
Wow.
It highlights that Satan fundamentally has no inherent power over those who actively choose, through their intellect and will, not to wander into his realm, that realm of unchecked impulses, illusion, and absent intellect. It's really a profound call to inner discipline and self-mastery.
What a truly illuminating deep dive. Seriously unpacking Attar Nishapuri's insights on responsibility, on the real nature of temptation. It's quite something. We've really seen how he just shifts the entire focus, doesn't he? Away from blaming external forces towards the crucial role of our own choices, our own awareness, and most importantly, the guidance of our intellect.
It really does reshape how we might view our own spiritual or ethical struggles. Attar's message seems crystal clear. The true territory of temptation, it isn't some external place you can avoid. It's any realm within us, our thoughts, our desires, our actions, that operates without the vigilant guidance of that pure, reined-in intellect.
Right.
So it's this compelling call to, well, profound self-awareness, to constantly employ our intellect to manage our impulses, to guide our steps and prevent ourselves from just wandering into those cursed territories.
So for you listening, here's definitely something to chew on. Attar suggests our power is directly proportionate to our will, our himmat, and that will is ideally guided by a pure, unadulterated intellect. Thinking about your own life, what territories, maybe mental habits or ways of reacting, might you be entering without the full awareness and guidance of your intellect being active? Where might you be untied?
And building right on that, maybe consider this. How might consciously choosing to really live as you think, allowing that pure intellect to define your boundaries, your choices, your reactions, how might that fundamentally transform your perception of limitations? How might it free you from that very tempting illusion of external blame? What new inherent power might you actually unlock by truly taking full ownership of your mental and intellectual domain?
Definitely something to ponder deeply. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
It was a real pleasure. Until next time, keep seeking, keep pondering, and keep unveiling wisdom.